there, it's Laura from Make Life Lovely. Today I'm thrilled to share with you 2 giant tiki statues that I made for a large luau that I put together, and I can't wait to share it with you. For 2 years now, I've been in charge of a giant luau that our church holds, and there are about 300 people that come, so it's kind of a big deal. It's in a huge room, and I needed some large decorations to fill the room. So one of the things that I wanted to make are some giant tiki statues. My inspiration came from Adventureland at Disneyland. I love these tiki masks, and these 2 became my inspiration. So here's how I made them. First, I bought an 8-foot tall piece of purple insulation foam. Now you can find these at Home Depot or Lowe's. Then I used a foam cutting tool that I bought on Amazon that works amazing, and I used that to cut the foam in half lengthwise so that I had 2 pieces. That saved me some money. Then I just took a pencil and started lightly sketching out my drawings onto the foam board. Because the pencil is a little bit sharp, it leaves an indent. Once I was satisfied with my pencil drawings, I used a pen and went over the pencil marks a lot darker so that it would be easier to see them when it was time to use my foam tool. You can see how it looks much darker, and that made it much easier for me to cut out the lines. Next, I took my hot foam cutting tool, which was so amazing. I love this tool so much. I bought it as a set, and it came with a few different pieces that you can use and attachments, so it worked great for multiple purposes. I'll be sure to link to this and to the other supplies that I used down in the description box. A word of warning, the smell of melting foam is not good. It's probably toxic. It smells stinky. So make sure that you do this part either outside or in a big room or in a room with lots of ventilation so that you can get that smell out. Maybe even use fans. I also suggest using a good mask for this part. That being said, this part is so satisfying. It's really fun. All you have to do is trace over the lines that you made earlier. And what this is going to do is it's going to make it easier for people to see all of the intricate details and for you to be able to paint this tiki mask. So here's what the pieces look like once they're cut out. I just did a rough general cut around the outside for now, and with all of the features highlighted using the tool. You can get a better idea with this close-up on how the design is etched into the foam. I wanted all of the edges of my tiki boards nice and smooth and rounded, so I used sandpaper and hand sanded around all of the edges to make them nice and smooth. Then I used a creamy yellowy colored paint and used that as a primer to cover up the purple. I didn't want to put the color straight onto the purple because I knew it wouldn't look as vibrant. So I used this as a primer and as a base to cover it up so that my color would pop and be more bold. I made sure that as I was painting, I really put my paintbrush inside the grooves and inside the pattern so that you wouldn't see that purple color. I wanted it all to be this neutral color as the base. So here's the first board all done. It's primed and it's all one color, ready to be painted. Now to paint, I just used some basic craft paints that I already had and a small paintbrush because I really wanted to get into those grooves. And this worked really, really well for me. I wanted these tikis to be colorful and bright, so I used lots of bright colors. And you'll see what I did to wash them down in a little bit because I still wanted them to look like wood, and I wanted them to look scratched and kind of old and to have that nice wood grain in them. So that's why you can see in the close-ups I have all those little squiggly lines throughout. I did that to try to make it look more like wood. Now here are the finished tiki masks painted, but like I said, they're a little too bright for me, so I wanted to tone them down. As I had some extra foam, I made 2 smaller tiki masks, one for each side of the room, and I'll show you how I embellished those 2 in a few. I painted those and primed them just like the other ones, and then it was time for me to age these so they looked more like wood. To do this, I took some brown paint and added some water to it in a cup and stirred and mixed it all up, and then I just lightly brushed it over the top. I made sure I covered the whole thing, let it sit for a minute, and then I used some paper towels to lightly dab off the brown wash. What I loved about doing it this way is that you can see that the brown settled into the little grooves and the little wiggles that I made into the foam so that it looked like wood grain. I feel like this really helped the tiki to look a little more aged and rustic and old and more like wood. Here's one of the extra pieces of foam that I had where I made additional masks. And I'm doing the same process here, just washing on that brown wash, brushing it on, wiping it off, and you can see how well the brown is settling into those little grooves. Next, it was time to embellish the smaller tikis that I made, one for each side of the room. To do this, I used these little tropical picks that I bought on Amazon, and then I just added flowers and leaves. And what's cool about these is that they have wire on the end, and so they're easy to poke into that soft foam. They stick right in there and they're able to pop out like you can see here. I kind of fanned them and they look great. I didn't even use any glue or anything. For the tropical pick parts, the flowers, I did use some hot glue for. Next, I took some raffia and cut some little pieces and attached them with hot glue onto the back of these smaller tiki masks. And I just did that to add a little bit of texture and a little extra interest. For the finishing touch, I used a hula skirt and added a long strip of hot glue along the base of the back of the foam tiki. And then I just placed the hula skirt along the back on the hot glue and pushed down gently. I recommend using something besides your fingers, like I did, because I'm always burning myself with the hot glue gun. Luckily for the second half, I got smart and ended up using the tips of the scissors to push down on the hula skirt so that I didn't burn my fingers on the hot glue on the back. And now it was time to flip it over and look at the final result. I love how this turned out. I think it was pretty creative to use the hula skirt because you can get those for cheap at one of the dollar stores during the summertime. I also love all the flowers and greenery up at the top. I think it just adds to the Hawaiian tiki feel of them. And here are the final large tiki statues that I made. I think they turned out so cool. They're really big and they looked really great on the stage for our luau. Check out the 3 volcanoes we made too. These were made out of paper with wood on the back. The lava is spray foam, and then we attached a fog machine to it so that it would erupt randomly throughout the luau, which was so cool and was pretty exciting for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about this project, and follow along for more. Bye.